You are listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.
Shut down the computer, it's time to leave work. About to hit the town and put happy hour on alert. You have warm eyes. Do you mind if I sit by your side? I was wondering if I could interest you in the ultimate joyride. There'll be no pressure. I'll be on my best behavior. I believe that every moment in life should be treated like fine wine. It can't be rushed. It has to simmer and then be served later. You are very lovely, and your name is? It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Zamir. And might I add, that smile you're wearing has hypnotic appeal.
I got what you want, got what you need. Set yourself free, come along and roll with me. If you want a good time, come take this ride. Set yourself free, come along and roll with me.
When I walked up, we were just strangers, but the more we talked, there must have been an arranger. Because I see you like walking on the edge, and I live to have my imagination fed. So let's leave this place and go somewhere time is erased. Whatever your flavor, whatever your taste, with the snap of my finger, it will arrive with haste. Now I know you've heard similar things before, but I promise you after tonight, you'll want for nothing more. So come with me and we'll explore every fantasy you ever wished for.
I got what you want, got what you need. Set yourself free, come along and roll with me. If you want a good time, come take this ride. Set yourself free, come along and roll with me. I got what you want, got what you need. Set yourself free, come along and roll with me. If you want a good time, come take this ride. Set yourself free, come along and roll with me.
My life is on fire. Hey! I'm thinking, maybe let my fantasies go ahead and take control. I'll just let go. Hey! I wanna raise some hell. Let's raise the roof. Do it all night. If we want to, let the wine and the liquor flow. Do it to the limit till we can't no more. Raise your glass and make a toast. Take a sip and lock the door. You know we might not stop till the cups are right. Can't disturb this groove inside. Please got to get my full attention. Don't need no protection from me. Celebration's on me. I'm feeling turned up. Why you gotta be like that? Ain't no question where the party's at. Let's get it rolling. I'm feeling turned up. Listen, baby, I'm feeling like the sky is not a limit for me. Nothing can hold me. We can make tonight the kind of night no one's ever seen before. We're tearing up the floor. I wanna raise some hell. Let's raise the roof. Do it all night. If we want to, let the wine and the liquor flow. Do it to the limit till we can't no more. Raise your glass and make a toast. Take a sip and lock the door. You know we might not stop when the cups arrive. Can't disturb this groove. Celebration's on me. I'm feeling turned up. Why you gotta be like that? Ain't no question where the party's at. Let's get it rolling. I'm feeling turned up. The ladies got to get my full attention. Don't need no protection from me. Celebration's on me. I'm feeling turned up. Why you gotta be like that? Ain't no question where the party's at. Let's get it rolling. I'm feeling turned up. The ladies got to get my full attention. Celebration's on me. I'm feeling turned up.
Warning. Do not listen to this song while driving, operating machinery, or being in an upright position. The voices you hear may be hypnotic. Listen. You said that you can hear me speaking clearly in your ear. You tell me you can feel me even though I'm not there. Stop wondering what this is. Look deep down in my eyes. Can't you feel my kisses? Please don't be shy. Don't be afraid of my love. Don't be afraid of me. Can you feel my heart dancing to your favorite song? Its vibration and energies don't make me wait too long. Every time is like our first. You know this to be true. Yes, you always quench my thirst, and I do the same for you. Listen to my voice and let it take you to a place, and we'll go my way, my way, my way. Listen to my voice and we'll let nature take its course and do it my way, my way. I'll be right here for as long as it may take. I'll be sure to leave you a message. You can listen when you awake. Now don't be afraid when you hear me ask you if you had fun last night. Oh baby, I was there too, so that makes it alright. Listen to my voice and let it take you to a place, and we'll go my way, my way, my way. Listen to my voice as we let nature take its course and do it my way, my way. Don't be afraid my loving, no. Don't be afraid of me. Don't be afraid of my loving. Don't be afraid of me. Don't be afraid of my loving. Don't be afraid of me. No, no, no. One less bell to answer. One less egg to fry. One less man to pick up after. I should be happy, but all I do is cry. Oh, I should be happy. I only know that since he left, my life's so empty. Though I try to forget, it just can't be done. Each time the doorbell rings, I still run. I don't know how in the world to stop thinking of him, 'cause I still love him so. I end each day the way I start out, crying my heart out. Oh, one less man to pick up after. No more laughter.
tell me everything you like. Alright, there's no need to rush. Whisper when I get it right. Oh, relax your mind, baby. Keep you satisfied. If you scream, it's fine. Tonight we're going all. Won't stop till you get enough. Good loving all night, yeah. Can't stop till you get enough. Ooh, baby. Girl, I just wanna love you all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, good and loving all night. Can't stop till you get enough. Oh, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go all the way.
It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. Oh no, oh, it's the flow, it's the flow, it's the flow, it's the flow, it's the flow. It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. No, no. Oh, it's the flow. 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 It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. Oh no, it's the flow. It's the flow of the Spirit from on high. It's the flow of Adonai, the Lord, my great Lord. It's the flow of El, the strong one. It's the flow of El Elyon, the God most high. Yeah, it's the flow. It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. No, no. Oh, it's the flow. 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 It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. No, no. Oh, it's the flow. 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 It's the flow of Elohim, the all-powerful one, creator. Yeah, it's the flow. It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. Oh no, it's the flow. It's the flow of the Spirit from on high. It's the flow of El Olam, the eternal God, everlasting God. Yeah, it's the flow. It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. No, no. Oh, it's the flow. 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 It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. No, no. Oh, it's the flow. It's the flow. It's the flow. It's the flow. Yeah, it's the flow of Elroy, the God who sees me. It's the flow of Jehovah Jireh, my provider. It's the flow of El Shaddai, God Almighty. Yeah, it's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. Oh no, it's the flow. It's the flow. Yeah. It's not the rhythm of the beat or the beat of the rhythm that keeps me going. No, no. Oh.
That boy's a bad boy.
All right,
You know what?
ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Welcome to the Indie Live spot. I hope everybody's having a great weekend so far, and I hope you've been enjoying some of that great music I've been playing at the beginning of the last half hour, just getting everything going before we come on live. But today we're very excited today because we have a wonderful guest today. He's going to join us today, and as you can see if you're watching. Mr. Phillip Brandon is here with us. So just help me welcome Mr. Phillip Brandon. What's up?
Hey.
Welcome
Welcome to the show, my friend, and glad to have you. We are excited to have you on. I've been listening to some of your art, man. You sound great. You got such a great voice, and yeah, I was just very excited to find out a lot about you today, and about your
Man, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. So excited.
Yeah,
Great to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, probably you viewers, you probably noticed that another face is not here. Sharon, or Shar, we call her, but Sharonda, she is not going to be with us today. She has some special things going on, like like anybody else would too, and so she'll be back with us next week. But I just wanted to let y'all know that if you were just wondering. But again, we're happy about having Mr. Phillip Brandon on the show today. So again,
Indeed.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's been going on, my friend?
Man, everything. It's been so awesome. Like I was just chat with you guys. I'm saying it. I'm working hard to be an active observer as things kind of unfold. So we had the single Mystery that I just released about a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And features Mr. Gerald Albright on that one, man, and that's been getting some really good feedback on that. I'm really excited about that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, man, just writing and have a big show coming up here in LA on the 29th of this month, a big release party at the Catalina Jazz Club on Wednesday, May 29th. So I'm really, really stoked about that. I got my whole band and singers and everybody with that, and it's just going to be a big show and party, and got more music coming out this summer, and planning a tour for next year, and I mean just all kinds of stuff going on.
Nice.
So excited.
Congratulations, my brother. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Now, Catalina's close to me. I can make that one.
Well, you got to come on up, bro. It's not too far from you.
That's close. That's close enough.
Close enough, huh? Yeah. Yes. So yeah, like I said, I'm just being an active observer and just like taking it all in as it happens, so I'm not missing anything, and just along for the ride and excited about it.
There you go. Absolutely.
How did you hook up with Mr. Albright? Tell us that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. So we had, there was like a little thing that happened that kind of changed the world in 2020 called a pandemic. I don't know if you guys remember that, but one of the as crazy as it was, one of the silver linings out of that was I said, hey, shoot your shot, ask a question. You don't know unless you ask. And so I reached out to Gerald Albright, and he actually replied and he said I would be glad to. I'd be happy to. And so we started that whole conversation, and I think it was 2021 or 22. And then from then we just started going back and forth, and we were able to come together with something that I could collaborate with, something that I think I'm really proud about. So that's how that came about.
That's cool. That's cool. Let me get started here, because I just I'm itching to ask you this question. I mean, tell me about your upbringing. Growing up in Los Angeles, I understand. And who were you influenced by vocally? I mean, I sit back. I was sitting back, and the first time I pulled it up on YouTube, I listened to your voice, man, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, "Who is this brother right here?" And I mean, Mystery is not a song I've heard a lot of male vocalists do. I've heard Anita's version. I've heard several other females do it. And you're the first male I've heard do it. And it's a Rod Temperton piece, so, you have to give it its all, And so when I listened to it, I said, this is authenticity to the max. Brother, you made that song your own.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, man.
You made that.
Thank you so much.
And I just got caught up in the little surprises you gave in how your phrasing in it, and you kept it controlled. And it was like I had never heard the song before. You were the first one that brought it to me, and like I said, I've heard it several other times, and I remember when Manhattan transferred it, years ago. But you did that thing, man.
It's cool, isn't it?
Thank you, brother.
I've heard elements of all people. I've heard. Now I got to express this. I've heard a little bit of Will in there, Brother Downing.
Mr. Downing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I heard some Walter Jackson. I don't know if you ever heard of Walter Jackson before. He was a vocalist who was prominent in the 1960s and 70s. And he had an incredible baritone voice, and which is the uniqueness thing about Walter he was paralyzed. I mean, he couldn't walk. He performed on crutches. But his voice was just magic.
Wow.
Alongside that, from Walter Jackson, I heard a little tinge of Johnny Mathis in the way you did it. So I was like, this is about one of the most impressive sounds I've heard out of a male vocalist since Luther. And I just got to throw that out there. I hope I'm not embarrassing you, man, but you know.
Vaughn, I mean, listen, no embarrassment, but I will have your check in the mail. My goodness.
Vaughn is peeling that onion, yeah.
I'm writing down all these quotes. No, listen, man, first of all, thank you. It's refreshing because, you know, that's one of the things that I do pride myself in my artistry. When I'm either writing a tune or when I'm arranging, I always try to think of how would I do it? How would I do that live? You know, how does the song speak to me? Because, you know, you were asking some of my influences. I love song stylists. Like I've always loved, you know, one of my favorite groups growing up, it's the Whispers. Period. Like just
they're right around the neighborhood, you know.
Exactly. They went to the same high school as my dad, so like it's just like, you know, one of those things that you know.
Jordan Downs.
Yeah, that's where he grew up, and so the funny part about that is, you know, when it comes to what inspires me, and I always say that I feel as though I was born later than where I reside musically, because, you know, when I was growing up, I listened to everything that my parents were listening to. So we listened, you know, I love Phyllis Hyman and you know, Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and yeah, of course, and you know, Al Jarreau. And I mean, these are the things that I'm listening to. You know, one of the first pieces of music that my parents got me was a 45 of Ashford and Simpson's "Solid as a Rock."
Solid as a Rock. Okay, there you go.
And I just played that thing, you know. And so, you know, I did grow up in Inglewood, California, born and raised. So that's, you know, Los Angeles County, Southern California based. And so, you know, a lot of that, you know, I definitely had a lot of influences in that. But, you know, it's funny you say that Johnny Mathis, like, listen to his phrasing. Like, I mean, like anybody who takes a melody and just wraps their voice around it, I've always gravitated towards. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's like the ultimate, you know, compliment when you're naming names of people that I'm just like, yes, yes, and yes, you know what I mean? Because that, you know, that's one of the biggest things for me is being finding that artistry that is authentic to you. And you know, even with Mystery, you know, I talked about how I connected with Gerald, but even the idea of Mystery I got back in 2018. I was blessed with the opportunity to open for the Manhattan Transfer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right here in Beverly Hills.
Oh my goodness.
And you know, I got a chance to do the opening set, and then I got a chance to go back and, you know, meet and hang out with them for a bit, and then I watched their set. And during their set, they did this tune, and you know, I hear the opening to it, and I'm like, oh, this sounds so familiar. And then I start and it was Mystery, you know, because they were the ones who did it. They did it first in 1983, I believe it was. Yeah. And so when I was looking through and saying, like, you know, what to me, why do people do covers, right? You do them because you're paying homage. You do them because it speaks to you, you know, as an artist. Right. And then you also do them because you want to give your interpretation, right? So you want to have all three of those things. And so when you're doing that, in my opinion, I feel as though, you know, when I was looking at, okay, I don't get a chance to do a lot of covers or recorded covers. Right. And so when I'm thinking, I'm like, what would make a good cover? Well, it needs to be something that people recognize, because if you're covering something and people don't recognize it, it's like, you know. But then the second piece to that would be, can you do something that is not overly saturated, overdone, where it's just like, oh, okay, you're just doing, you know, you just might as well do the karaoke version of it. You know what I mean? It's like, and so I thought Mystery, because when I heard them do it, I said, man, we don't hear this song. We don't even hear Anita's version that often.
No, we don't.
People don't play it that often, you know? But when you hear it, you know it. And most people's reaction is always, oh yeah, you know, because it is such a good, the melody in it is just beautiful. Like the way it wraps itself around the bass line, and it just everything kind of, it's like a cacophony of sound that just comes together and makes its own entity with everybody kind of doing their own parts.
It has that vibe. It has a mystery of. It's like it has tension in it.
Yes.
It's a mysterious tension, and that's the artistry that Rod Temperton was, magic for, because he had that thing,
He did.
When you say I think you kind of looked at it from the aspect, and I got to say this, as a jazz singer, I feel that you knew you didn't want to do too much with it, but you did just the right touch of it in order to make it work, and you gave it your stamp of approval. All I got to say at this point, and I've got other questions later, is you got a brand.
Oh wow!
Definitely got a brand, and it solidifies who you are. And so I'm looking forward to hearing much more from you, brother. And I see that you've been in theater too.
Yeah.
You and I could, That's
we could. Well, you just said we could talk for hours just about that. Man, thank you so much for saying that, Vaughn. Again, it is refreshing when as artists, we all know this. You just kind of do your thing, and then you're like, I hopefully somebody else appreciates it, but as of right now, I appreciate it, and I'm just gonna do the thing and then go like this.
I see you got what? How many? But over 600,000 hits, things on spins on it already.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I just saw that just last night. I'm like, what? I was surprised. Like, what in the world? But that's you, bro. That's what you did.
That's right.
That's what you did. Right. And thank goodness for Gerald Albright.
Oh my goodness, man! He just, when I gave it to him, and he just did. I mean, he did his entire thing on it, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, this is how we rolling. All right.
Nice, too.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go.
Just let it go, And the funniest part about him, I have to say, is that he like does his entire thing on it and then sends it back and is like, "Let me know if that's okay for you." I'm like, what?
Right.
You have a question? Like, is it okay? I'm like, I'm trying not to just throw this out right now. I'm trying to, ramp it up and let people know about it.
Right. That's right.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I appreciate it.
What a blessing. Total blessing.
Well, CTK, you got something you want to jump in on? I didn't want to cut you.
Yeah, no. I'm just, first of all, great guest. Second of all, Vaughn, the way Vaughn goes in on it, he gets you encapsulated in the whole conversation, and you're like, wow. But no, I had a few questions though, but Vaughn was basically hitting the nines and the tens on what I was wondering about. But I was wondering, what is your daily schedule like, as far as so some of these other independent artists, you kind of see what you're doing, or how you build your day and prepare for what you're doing.
So, I am, you touched on the theater as well. So I am a multidisciplinary artist. So I'm an actor as well. I do theater. So there's several different things. I like to, from the artist standpoint, I really do like to try to be as inspired and take in as much as I can, garner inspiration from wherever I can. For whatever reason, when I'm in motion, like either on an airplane traveling or driving, is when I have the greatest, pops of inspiration. And so what I do is I just take my cell phone with me. I just have it at all times, even if I'm driving, and I just hum something, and I don't even know if anything will come of it, but it'll just, I'll do that. And then another thing that inspires me is being out in nature. So I live here in LA, so we have a ton of places to go do hikes and stuff. And for whatever reason, just being, out, and it just kind of opens up the mind and just gets me, gets all those juices flowing. So, and it also helps me stay active, which is good.
Yeah.
So I try to do those things to keep going. So doing that, and then getting a chance to, have conversations with wonderful gentlemen as yourselves, and try to get the word out there as much as possible and share the enthusiasm that I have for for some of the creations I've been blessed to be able to do.
Yeah.
And what's your inspiration as far as how do you go about producing the music to the musicians that you're going to be working with? How do you present it to them, basically?
Yes. So it really just depends. So sometimes if I'm doing like an original tune, maybe I will. I'm not a musician myself, but I can plunk through some chords sometimes to get the idea out. So sometimes I'll just get those down and say, and maybe do a melody. Maybe I don't even have the lyrics yet, but I'm like, this is the melody I'm hearing. Then we'll start building the track, or sometimes we'll just go straight old school and like, hey, let's all go to the rehearsal studio. Let's get together and let's just see what we come up with. You know what I mean? So it really depends on what the idea is being led to. Some things I think I need more immediate input. So I'm like, hey guys, let's just see what we can cook up here. And then other times, there's certain tunes where I literally can flesh out everything and just say, I need you to play this, I need you to play that, I need you to play that, and then it comes, and then put your own spin on it, and then that's how it comes together. So
It's a creative mind right there. That's how the brain will say, "I'll find a way for you to do it."
It said, "We're gonna make a way."
And that's what these independent artists need to hear, and they need to know that's a familiar thing. If you've picked up on that, Vaughn, is that a lot of guests that we've had, and when that question is posed to them, they say the same thing. Take my phone recorder. I got an idea. Put it into the phone.
Yeah.
I tell my wife I got an idea. She said, record it. Put it in the phone. So, use that. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
You never know when you're gonna use it. You can use it immediately, or I got hundreds of little voice recordings, and I just go back and say, I get inspiration from that. I'm like, what did I do here? Yeah. And then sometimes you can piece stuff together and say, well, that was cool and that works, and so it's a cool experience.
No doubt about it. Yeah,
kind of like the Five Heartbeats when he was singing the song and he was getting pieces of paper from the drawer.
Oh yeah, and he would be looking for them.
Exactly.
This lyric with this lyric and this word.
The bedroom dresser, stuff. It all fit, but totally get that.
That's true. That's true. Brandon, I was also wondering about the video that you have on your website. It's really cool. I was just kind of wondering who did that production and everything, because it was really cool. I saw where the images of the people there would morph into other faces and things, like other scenes and things. It was really cool. Is that is that part of your production?
So I was really proud about this particular song in general, because if we go back to the beginning, this was my first time giving a hand at producing a track, producing a song. You know what I mean? From the entire beginning to end, and so with that, I kind of took that into the video aspect of it. I like I said, I'm an actor as well, so I have a decent eye for certain, shots and certain things and certain imagery. And so what I did was I just kind of wanted to I wanted to pay homage to, the music videos in the 80s, they were very, like when technology was very new, they were piecing all kinds of things together and doing this, and then you would see kind of, more things morph, and you would see one image on top of something else. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to do a pay homage to that, because the song was, written and originally released in the 80s. And so that's kind of where that idea was birthed. It was like, I wanted to, kind of merge those two ideas. And then there was also a thought of, we have, a lot of times I feel in jazz, because it is, America's classical offering to the world. Yeah. A lot of times it kind of stays in one, like, oh, this is how you have to do this. This is how you have to do that. And I kind of wanted to, I think that there's an opportunity to reach a younger audience and say, hey, this stuff, like, this is our foundation. And you can trace most things back to some form of jazz, or even if it's just the expression of something different and new.
Yeah.
You can trace that back to jazz. And so I wanted to be embracive of new technologies and things so that we, my hope is to kind of bridge the gap of saying, hey, this is steeped in a traditional art form, but if you bring about what we have now and where technology is now, that's what it can have a marriage that is something that is pretty cool. So that's kind of where my head was, my thought process with that.
Well, that was nice. It was really cool. Really, really
Thank
cool.
you.
But you said it makes a good point, because I express that all the time whenever, people want to know about the history. Because I try to, I have an ambition to go back to college, by the way, and try to study musicology and ethnomusicology, because what has been created in the United States over the last 400 years in terms of artistry and the art form of music in America, is the three foundations of it is jazz, the blues, and spirituals, or what is known as gospel music.
Right.
So those three entities is the foundation of popular music in America. Without them, you probably couldn't do half the stuff that, guys would be lost, but then again, we still have to also, and I don't mind throwing in classic European music, music from, from the Caribbean, Brazil, Latin music, the rhythms, and most of all, the rhythms of Africa.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
there you have it, and just,
Yeah.
know that popular music is built on that entire foundation. And so, there have been other conversations I've heard other people talk about that, our music isn't our music. We had nothing to do with its creation or anything, but I'm here to tell them the buck stops here.
That's right.
The buck stops,
1000%.
because there would be no, think about it. I mean, without what we created, there would have been no Elvis Presley. There would be no Rolling Stones or Led Zeppelin or any of these other bands out of the UK, because they loved it. They knew where it comes from, and they have always gave us our props in terms of like where that stuff comes from.
Absolutely.
So, but then again, there are ones that are still arguing the point. Well, their point is pointless.
Yeah.
I'm just an advocate of what we created, and I'm not going to budge any step of the way.
No, that's right.
Yeah, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because there's 2 points that I thought of. I'm like, they're going to be people who argue until the end of time, right?
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going to let you argue. I can show you better than I can tell you.
There
so
you
this
go.
is where I'm going to be.
There
You know
you
what I mean?
go. Yeah.
And it's funny too, because another point I wanted to make just about creativity and artistry, I think there's certain instrumentation. There's something you mentioned, the drums and things from steeped in African tradition,
Right.
and that is something that resonates with me so much, because my ear naturally just tunes to the drum and bass. Like it's like when I'm writing, I usually hear those instruments first.
Right.
And I love the syncopation and things, because it's all the rhythm and how everything comes together is it's life.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, you know what I mean?
Right.
So those are 2 things I wanted to mention, because that's a lot of times, even when I'm doing live shows, I'll tell them, I'm like, I need the kick drum up and I need the bass up in my monitor, because those are the things that I hear, and and that's just kind of what inspires me and helps me to create even more.
Phillip, I have a question for you. If you could collaborate with 2 people for 24 hours, anybody dead or alive, you have 24 hours with these 2 people to collab with, who would you choose?
Okay, wow. The first one I think would be Babyface, and the second one would be Mariah Carey.
Wow.
The reason I'm going to say these 2 is Babyface has if you listen to any collaboration that he has ever done, no matter the genre, it he understands where the home or the heart of something sits. You know what I mean? And he creates these amazing, like beautiful melodies, and so for me, no matter who he is collaborated with or produced or written for, it all has a very recurring theme, even when their styles are completely different. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Mariah Carey, for the fact that she was able to just take pop and write these incredible songs and still stay relevant at the forefront of that, and so her definitely more for the songwriting capabilities.
It's interesting. I was going to say, when you worked with Gerald, you do know his daughter, right?
Selena Albright. Yeah, I know her. I don't know her personally.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, for sure.
I was going to ask you. I think she's an amazing vocalist. She is incredible. Her stuff is just so authentic. You know, when she is who she is when she's on stage, and when you see her perform, it's breathtaking. You know, because she can capture a composition and again make it her own, and yet still, you know, throw those little hooks in there that kind of like catch you by surprise, you know. And so
absolutely.
I said to myself, when I heard you had worked with Gerald on this piece, I said, I wonder if he's going to be able to work with her at some point down the road. That would be awesome.
I would have anticipated that for sure.
That would be awesome. That would, you know, that would be a dream collaboration as well. So I'm for sure open to it. So, you know.
Yeah, because I have we kind of like touch bases every once in a while, because I think she's still up in London performing, or either in London or Germany, one of the two, because she's over in Europe right now. And so it's just exciting to see how she's developed, and she's taken the reins, and she's got a hold of her career, and she's doing what she wants to do right now, which is more than you can ask of a young musician like that, you know. You know. But I was going to ask you about your theater work, man. That's how did that happen?
Yeah.
So I started off as a singer. I've been singing, you know, all my life, not professionally until right after college. But one of the so I started singing. My first professional jobs were on cruise ships, singing on cruise ships. And once I finished that, I did about a year and a half or so on those as a singer. I went to an audition for the show in Hong Kong, the Lion King in Hong Kong. And I just went as support for a friend of mine. And when I was there, I said, well, you know, I'm here. Let me, if they just want us to sing, that's fine. I didn't know anything about my capabilities as an actor. And so I auditioned, I got a call back, and I ended up getting cast in the show. And that's kind of what flipped the script for me, as far as realizing that there was another expression of art that I had at my fingertips, because, you know, I'm singing songs and doing lines from scenes and stuff. And so that kind of got those wheels going, turning in my head. And so after that, I moved back to, and I lived there for about 7 months. I moved back after that contract was done. And then I auditioned for the Color Purple national tour. Wow. And so then I ended up booking that, and then I toured with them around the U.S. for about 2.5 years. Wow. And that was like just such an incredible experience, you know, because it's like, oh, this is a full musical. This is what, you know, this is, and the story of it was just such a beautiful story. And the cast, you know, some of my closest friends till this very day, you know, it was such a family unit and environment on that tour. And so even with that kind of, you know, gave me a little bit more confidence in the world of acting and stuff. So that's what kind of spawned, you know, itself into doing like commercials and getting a chance to do some TV and all that kind of stuff. But theater is really where that, as far as the acting side of what I do, that was like the catalyst for that.
Yeah.
because it gave me that kind of confidence in that realm.
Exactly. So, what did you think of the process of an actor in relationship to that of a vocalist? What did you find any parallels that you could kind of like say, "Oh,
Absolutely.
I've been here before. I know what this is all about."
Yeah, I think at the core of everything, we're trying to find where the life of whatever that piece of art is, right? What is the thing that sparks inspiration to us and then in turn to others, right? Where does it live? What is the heart of it? And so that was the one thing that I was able to take from whether I'm doing voiceovers or commercials or theater or music or anything, is what is the authentic portion of this, the heart of it, so that it allows me to be able to speak to myself to inspire others. And so that was the thing that kind of was the through line there.
Right. And you spent 2 years on the road with that production.
About 2.5. Yeah, that was about 2.5 years.
That's a long
yeah.
run, man. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That was a lot. Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then in the middle of that, I ended up, actually, if we back up to while I was in Hong Kong, this was around the time that like YouTube and everything was very new. It was very new technology, right? And so I put up a clip from me doing the Lion King. There it was. I was singing the song "Be Prepared." I was playing Star over there, and once I did that, I was for the context of the year, I think it was around 2008 or 9. So everyone had cell phones, but you weren't taking them internationally. You would have, Right. So I would only check my voicemail over there probably like once a month or so, And so while I was there, I was checking my voicemail. I got this call from someone that was like, "Hey, I work with this rock group. We want to take we'd love to chat with you." And so I'm just thinking like, oh, to me, I was the furthest from rock, so I was like, "Oh, they must have gotten the wrong number." I'll call. But they called back about 2 or 3 more times. So I finally got back to them, and it was the talent coordinator for the rock group, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh,
and so,
wow!
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So when I started that conversation with them. And it was just such a cool experience, because you talk about, your question right before this was like, what is the recurring theme? And I'm like, hey, if you're dealing with art is art. What is the heart of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though in my head at the time, I'm like, oh, I'm the furthest from rock. And so they brought me in initially as a singer. And then while I was going through rehearsals and things with them, the main producer, Paul O'Neill, he wanted me to read the script, because they do a huge holiday show, and so it's kind of like a rock opera, if you will. So you have a narrator who comes out and speaks and tells a story, and somebody sings, and all of these wonderful things. And so that is what led to me being, for now, this year will be 15 years of touring with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra as the narrator.
Wow!
So I'm the only actor on the gig, which is, I think it's so cool.
That
it's
is cool.
You see things kind of
That's a
pieced
big
together.
outfit here, man.
That's
That's a
amazing.
big outfit.
Yeah.
Did y'all do some recent tours recently?
Yeah, we tour usually about 2 months out of the year towards the holiday season. So usually about October, November, December is when we're out on the road. So
Y'all didn't come to Oklahoma City, did you?
every single year.
I thought so, because a friend of mine that I work with, I think they went to that, and he was just telling me how fantastic it was and how he really enjoyed it. And I was like, because they have like the light show and everything, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. They got the pyro, the lights, and fog, and videos. I mean, it's
The ice skating,
it's
what do you call
impressive.
Oh my goodness! And if I would have known then that you were the narrator, I probably would have been there to see that.
Yeah. Well, you got to come this year. I'll be the narrator again there. So.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I can't wait to tell him about that too. I'm gonna say, that's who I talk to.
That's funny. It's funny how the more that I've been blessed to be in this business, the smaller the world gets. It's like, oh, you do this, do you know so and so? And it's just like, you just connecting the dots, all the time. I think it's really, really cool.
That is. Well, good for you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Phillip, you are a Morehouse man.
I sure am.
Okay.
I sure am, man.
What year did you graduate?
06.
06. Okay.
Yeah.
I came to the South back in 1983, and I attended Morris Brown College.
Oh yeah, right there in the AUC.
Yeah, man, right in the heart of the AU. And let me ask you this: I always ask people who venture from sunny Southern California, but City of Lights and fantasy and all this kind of stuff, and you wind up in the city of Atlanta and you go to AU. Was it culture shock for you too, brother?
It was for sure a culture shock in the best way, though.
I got you.
In the absolute best way. Like, I'm
Absolutely.
sitting there just like, whoa, you have the best of the best from all over the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they look just like you, and everybody is the greatest of where they come from, and it's normal.
Yeah, it is normal.
And that, I mean, it was one of the most beautiful experiences. Some of my dearest brothers and sisters from Spelman, to this day. I mean, we're talking almost 20 years now, and it's just such an incredible experience.
Right.
And it's almost hard to describe the totality of what the experience was and what it means, to me. So
I agree.
I do my best.
And look, I'm still growing.
Yeah.
Once you come here, it's like, why would I want to go back to
And it's funny. I would say the only one thing about the experience being from LA that I was like, was the weather. But I'm from sunny Southern California, so that was probably the only thing that I would say. And that I remember the first year I moved there, with all the pollen and all that. I mean, though, it did a number on my allergies that first year. I said, "What in the world is this?"
I was exporting you to the car.
Yeah. Well, listen, I go out on, go to the car, and there's this layer of like pollen that is settled on the car. I'm like, I have never seen anything like this before. I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? And people are just like, oh yeah, it's spring. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's spring.
Well, y'all done sprung this on me, because I was not into it, but that was the only. I mean, everything else, it was just Black excellence everywhere you look, and again the normality of it is, I think, the most awe-inspiring thing of it. It's just, this is life. This is what life is,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, everywhere you go, there it is, right in your face, And what else can you do but try to excel and be part of that,
Absolutely.
And so that's the thing that, like I said, I've been here for over 40 years. And the thing about it is, it's like, I've been, I know LA. I left LA like when I was 23 years old. I went to LA City College and said, let me transfer from here. I just wanted to see what the rest of the country looked like.
Yeah.
Have I ever seen it?
Yeah.
And so, a lot of that influence culturally has galvanized me to be on a path to keep things going like this. So I just want to, acknowledge that, you are an HBCU alum,
Oh yeah, through and through. And
we got to carry that mantle, man,
We do. And actually we have that in common too, because I started at Santa Monica College here first.
Okay.
And I was a transfer student.
Yeah. There you go.
So I did the same thing, man. And I said, the tuition was a little bit different from Santa Monica. Slightly, but
a little bit different.
Yeah, but see, I did want to mention that was one of the things that was cool. While I was there, I sang with the Morehouse College Glee Club.
Yeah.
And singing with them, I got offered a scholarship, and with that scholarship, we had to tour every spring. as ambassadors of the school. And so that's kind of what got the juices running, flowing as far as the possibilities of touring and like, oh, people actually bring you to places for you to express your art. So I thought that was a really great eye-opening experience for me as well.
You want to hear something really crazy about that? What you just said?
What?
I was I've been a trombonist ever since I left California, and I played for like 7 years. And so when I got to Morris Brown, I kind of wanted, well, let me check out this band. I just wanted to see what this band is like. So I went in and I met the director, the music director of Morris Brown. And I told him, yeah, I play a little trombone. He said, you have? Okay, so what are you going to do about that? I said, I don't know. And he said, well, I'm looking for a trombone player. I said, really? Because I hadn't picked up the horn in years, man.
Yeah.
And so he said, come to the tryouts. I said, what? He said, come to the tryouts. I said, okay, all right, I'll show up. Yeah. He gave me the sheet music, and I sat in with the band. Before I know it, I was playing it like I had never forgotten.
Oh, wow.
And I got offered a scholarship.
Oh, wow. Okay. See,
Wow.
there it is.
Wow.
Yeah. So
there it is.
the interesting thing about that was once I got in, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, I was in an HBCU marching band.
I mean,
I thought it was the worst
that in and of itself
I've ever made. I wore the heck out.
I was gonna say you were worked. They worked you out, bro.
They worked
you
me from sun up to sun down.
Yeah, no downtime.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And,
But it's funny because I'm sure there's a certain work ethic that was born out of that. Right.
No
That
question.
you use from now until,
Yeah.
That was one of the things that they said. I remember, because early 2000s, we didn't have a lot of technology as far as being able to register classes online and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the lines.
Yeah.
Just you have to wait in just to get classes. You pick your class. I mean, and they said, listen, if you can get through this, there ain't no situation on this planet that you will not be able to get through because the patience you had to have to get through all
For real.
through registering for a class.
Yeah.
Alone. I'm not talking about taking the class. I'm talking about registering.
Registering.
Physically,
And then you got to take it. And pass. And so
It's almost a 2-day, 3-day odyssey, man. It works your nerves but then again, when you finally get in there,
yeah,
the easy part is just going to class at that point.
You're like, well, you got a work ethic built just out of registering from the class, and so by the time you take the class, you're like, oh, I'm doing all this work because I'm not waiting to the last minute for nothing.
For real, absolutely.
Yeah, so that was such a. I mean, I think back on those times. I'm like, man, and it was such a quick, and because I was a transfer student, I was only there for three years.
Yeah.
Such a quick 3 years, but I mean, it's the impression that it left on me is just, like I'm meeting one of my Morehouse brothers tonight because he's in town from Atlanta, and that's the thing, when I'm traveling around and getting a chance to tour and stuff, I'm coming across folks that I went to school with, people who are working in different places, and we get together and it's like no time has passed.
Right. Exactly. I agree. And the thing about it is, you'll find another HBCU person all over the world.
Anywhere.
They're everywhere.
Any and everywhere, no matter what country, no matter what, it's just like, wow, it's incredible. So
It's incredible. It sure is. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I want to do right quick? I want to take just a quick short break to let people hear that wonderful track of yours with Joe Albright and stuff. So I want to do that right at this point, and then we'll come right back and continue our conversation. If you just tuned in, we're talking to Mr. Phillip Brandon, and man, this guy's all over the place. He's got a lot of great stuff going on. So we'll be right back. Y'all keep it locked right here on the MD Live Spot. Yeah. Turning back the hands of time, holding on to misty memories, chasing shadows through the night, trying to find my happy ending. Reaching out for another chance at heaven. We'll find a way if we try. Baby, believe in the mystery like it used to be. More than lonely drifters in the dark, I can remember the sun inside. Love held us tight. I need to feel your magic here. Tearing apart. Diamond shining in the night, lying soft and warm together. Only images survive. Can't my dreams go on forever? Oh, there's still time. Lock away your sadness. Let the secrets of love start to smile. The mystery it used to be. The tender days, the love we made. Lonely spirits seem to whisper in the wind. It's a silent song that's never meant to be. Since the dawn of time, the mystery never ends. We could find forever if we let love rise again.
Bravo.
Bravo. Great job,
That
man.
was
Bravo.
fantastic.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
Yes. Wow, that was nice. That was nice. Look like I'm looking at chat room. Everybody's thumbs ups and all that good stuff in there.
Hey, thank y'all. That's so cool. And then I got a chance to have I've heard about that my mom is singing the female parts on the background. So it's
Really?
her
Oh,
voice.
wow.
Oh, for real?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Did
was
you have to pay
wondering
her?
about that.
Did you pay her?
Yes, of course. No, she was like, Mom. She's like, no, I'm gonna do it for you. I let you know. Cause see, Mom, that's the one thing I have to always tell people this. You know, she's a singer, like singer. She toured. It was a Ray Lep with Ray Charles.
Oh.
You know, so
What?
she toured with him for a while. Yeah.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
So when I say I got it honest, I got it honest.
There
So
you go. Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
So anytime and it's so funny. Sometimes people, you know, even when they're mixing for me, they're like, I can't tell the difference between you and your falsetto, or if that's your mom's voice. We have to label it, you know, because when your family has the same vibrato
Yeah.
and pitch and all that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
you know.
That's like the
Man,
Big
talk
Knight
about
family singing together. Yeah.
That's
The Brian
amazing.
McKnight family singing together. Who's that? Yeah, that's right.
all I got to say is talk about 6 degrees of separation right there, man. Oh my God.
Telling you. Yeah.
Well, the
It was
genes
such
didn't.
cool.
The genes didn't leave you too far away, bro. You right
No.
in there.
Not at all. No, I knew it. I was gonna have to do something, even though my degree's in marketing and in business. I knew I was gonna have to do something. You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
something in the heart. So
Wow, that is fantastic, though.
Well, that's a great piece.
Mm-hmm.
thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It's you know, like I say, it's something that you know, like I said earlier, when I'm thinking of an arrangement or you know putting something together, I'm like, how would I do that live? How would that read live? And that was one of the things that kind of led into that composition or that arrangement, excuse me, there, that tune.
Right.
So
So,
Isn't it amazing how some of those ideas, compositions come to you in between your layers of sleep? Sometimes you'll jump up with the
100%. It is like it's just funny how inspiration comes to you. Period. Like it never comes when you're just like, all right, I'm blocking this time out. Let me get inspired. No, it doesn't. It doesn't
Never
happen that
happens.
way. You know, like you know, because then all of a sudden when you do that, then you're thinking of, oh well, what did I eat today? What do I got to do later? You know, but when you're doing other things and your mind is just able to just kind of be free and garner inspiration from things, I think that's where the juices start flowing. So
yeah, that's right.
Now,
That's
your
right.
bit of work also includes another a collection too. What was it? The Stories Begin. Is that correct?
yeah, so that was really cool. That was that was my album that was released back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first full LP,
Nice.
and that was the lead single from that was called "Come On," and that was my first Billboard charting single. We spent 12 weeks in the top 20 of the Billboard charts for smooth jazz. So that was such a cool experience.
That is nice.
And then, yeah, it was really cool because it's like, okay, again, you know, you write something, you compose something, and then you just say, okay, this feels good to me. So when other people are into it, it's like, okay, that's what's up. Like you know, I guess we're on to something. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then on that album, I got a chance to work with the producer and songwriter Preston Glass.
Yeah. We had him on.
And
the
that
show.
connection came about as he's a good friend of my mom's, and so she was working on something with him, and she said, "Hey, Phil, I think that you guys would work well together. I want to introduce you."
How cool.
And so she did, and the rest has been history on that because I got a chance to co-write. I think it was 7 songs with him on that album.
Wow.
And he produced 7 of them as well. So it was such a cool. And then we got something coming out I think next month as well, another single. So you guys be on the lookout for that.
For sure,
Something
for
with me
sure,
and Preston,
yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
So I'm just excited for all things new and you know the whole thing.
Yeah, because
We've been hearing that name a lot lately on this show, Mr. Preston Glass. That's been popping up on this show a few times, quite a bit lately.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's
A
busy.
lot of people have been mentioning him.
Yeah, and we've actually had him on. We've had him on this show before and talked with him, and he's definitely a classic producer. You know, from
Yeah, his discography. It's like, man, he's worked with everybody. You can't name a artist from that he hasn't. It's like, man, I was just looking at. I'm like, okay, Aretha Franklin, Natalie Cole, Kenny G,
Yes.
what the hell?
I know.
Like, and again, that was one of those moments again for me that I'm like, oh man, you're okay with working with me? You're okay working with me? Like, all right. Well, I'll take it. That's cool. So that's a great partnership, and he just understands. Again, lots of different genres, but he really understands the heart of the artist that he's working with, and so that's something that he got immediately. He's like, oh, you're like this. So then it starts making his creative juices go. He's like, hey, check this out. Let me know what you think about this. So that's how the whole co-writing thing, got into play.
That's fantastic.
That's how you know it's going to work and click. Yeah, you got to feel off each other.
Yeah.
Get that vibe. You get that vibe. It's on a vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a cool experience, man. And so, and again, you were talking about how you connect certain things. There's this producer out of Greece. His name is Christos Tampouratzis, and there's a radio DJ out of the UK that played both of our music, and so he was going around saying, "Hey, I need a Barry White style vocalist," right? And so the DJ in UK said, "Hey, I got the guy for you." He connected us, and now we've been working on things that we're going to be releasing some stuff, and it's just like just to see the wheels turning, and how you never know where the next thing is going to come from. But it's like, oh, I would have never guessed that I would be working with somebody out of Greece. You know what I mean? Like. That I got connected to through the UK, it's like, this is cool, it's like, wow, when you go back and tell the story, that's why I say I want to always be an active observer. I want to observe it, but I want to observe it in real time.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that is amazing.
That's right. Get your networking together.
Yeah, man.
When you get that global experience, you know what I'm saying? When you get artistry like that who want to collaborate with you from other countries in Europe and all over the world, that just makes it all the more,
it makes it, because then you get different flavors, because again, everything is still going to be steeped in jazz, but like, oh, this is kind of their expression of that. This is, and it's still, so it's like, it's slightly, and it's funny too, because, even with my band here in LA, my bass player, he's from Cuba. And so he has a whole different vibe that he does on certain things, And so when Preston Glass was producing, when he was, I think it was The Story Begins, or it was one of the tunes he was producing on the last album. And he was like, he was like, oh yeah, I could tell. I could tell by the way he played. He was from, I knew he was from someplace. Like, he was like, he just sits in it different.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just sit here and I this happens to me just about every Saturday whenever I do a show. I feel like a kid in a candy store. I mean, it's literally, because I have immersed myself in this cultural phenomenon called jazz, and it's been around for over 100 years. And I have to say this, and I have a friend that always gives me that one phrase that I have to be able to understand. Ain't nothing new under the sun when it comes to jazz, because of the fact that it's already been done before. And it amazes me that all of this sounds so new and fresh to my ears, because the music just keeps evolving. It just evolves. And so a lot of people, and I'm a radio programmer as well, internet radio station. And so I get to the point where I kind of want that same feeling when I hear certain sounds, because I'm always looking for something that in the first 3 minutes, if you can't surprise me, I'm not listening to it no
Not
longer,
into it, yeah.
But if you surprise me with taking a a chord change another direction within the first
Yeah.
15 seconds, I'm like sold, because
Yeah.
it's about uniqueness and it's about surprises. It's about being happily surprised by what you hear. And I did enough because that's what you gave me in your interpretation of mystery, you
Oh
know.
wow, thank you, man.
Yeah.
It's funny you said there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to jazz, and I believe that wholeheartedly. But I also believe it's kind of like the game of telephone. So if when one person tells somebody else a story, by the time it gets to the end, it's not going to be the
It's
exact.
not gonna be the same.
It's not going to be the same story. Probably like the core of it, I'm sure is going to be there's some semblance there, and you're going
Right.
to know, oh, okay, that. So I kind of feel like that's kind of how it is with jazz in particular, because no, it's not new. There's nothing new about it, but my interpretation is going to be new
It's gonna be
because
new.
that's
It's gonna
what
be new.
my take. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
Because I wasn't
Yes.
born during the time that it was
That's right.
created.
That's
So
right.
Exactly.
but I know where it sits with me, and so from me doing that and then giving my interpretation of it, it is inherently going to just be new and fresh. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you stay true to where you sit with stuff, as opposed to trying to just do the exact same thing that someone else did, because trying to do that was specific and special to them. You know what I mean? So then you try to do it, it's like I don't know, it's not as special anymore, even if it's technically correct. I don't feel the same thing because they did that out of a feeling, out of an emotion that led them to do take that chord change there, or do that note there, or that riff, or that run, or whatever that is.
Right,
And
right.
so I think that's what makes things special. It's like it has to start with the heart. The core has to be there, and the expression will come.
Indeed.
So,
And I listen to a lot of sax players, a lot of trumpet players, a lot of guys who, bass players, and that's what I listen for. I listen for what they do with their improvisation. I listen
Yeah.
to what they do with the chord changes, and I'm just like, and it's all new to me because I don't know all the aspects of it, but like I said, I played the horn trombone for like 7 years, and things are like coming back to me now, as a musician, and so I kind of immerse myself in that whole musical side, but yet still my ear is trained. So I know what I'm looking for when I try to hear a composition, and like some of the little things you were doing uniquely with the lyric caught me by surprise in a lot of the entire song. And I was like, oh, he's keeping it down there. I see. Okay. I get it. And it's just like, that's his brand. And like I said, you don't hear a lot of males that have ever done mystery. That's
No.
And then also, I think growing up, that especially as a singer, the high voice is always celebrated going up.
Right.
It's always,
Yeah.
they don't. Well, number one, because there's not a lot of low voices.
There's a lot of both baritone singers out there. It's not.
Yeah, and so because of that, by nature of that, it's just the high. So I found myself when I was younger, always trying to sing high. Like, oh, let me try to match this. Let me try to do that. And so then, once I started singing and doing other styles of music, singing some classical, because I got classical coaching while I was in school, and I'm like, wow, this is a whole different thing. So let me live in that. Like, why, let me give my interpretation there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that going back to the thing of what is at the heart of what you do, what's that, and I love that you keep using the term branding, because that resonates with me, especially having a degree in marketing. Is that's a big thing. It's like, what is your thing that you do? And so that's been something that I've been really working to try to continue crafting, is like, what is that thing that's authentic to me, and how can I share that so that I'm making sure that I'm giving my authentic point of view in this space? You know what I mean? So thank you for saying that.
Oh, no problem, because not everybody can be a Picasso. Not everybody can be a Rembrandt.
Right.
Everybody can be trying to think of the young man who had the braids in New York.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It was like the French
Michel
name.
Basquiat.
Yep.
Basquiat. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Not everybody can be him, but you can only be you. you know.
Yeah.
And that's what, if you think about it, that's what all musicians want. They want their thumbprint to say, "This is me,"
Yes.
and I'm like nobody else, you know.
Right.
And which is what the art form is all about. You know, that's what
Yes.
makes you stand alone and stand out. You know, and so all I got to say is, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. And you know, who knows what's down the road? You know, I'm just like, I don't try to get into the awards or nothing like that, because that doesn't mean anything to me. It's about what the audience feels, you know, because it's all about that human connection that you make, you know. And so that's where I live at, man. That's why I listen to the music all the time, because I sit back. I got an MP3 player that's got over 4,000 songs in it. And I'm constantly got the thing in my ears, you know, because I want to hear all I can hear. You know, I want to be able to know what it is I'm looking for on every song that I have to put into this radio station, and how to make the mix work.
Yes.
You know, because I'm working with classic jazz music from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s into the 50s, into the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and the 2000s. So I got all this music. I got to kind of find that right combination.
Right.
So, you know, with Phillip Brandon, and you know, mix it in with some Al Jarreau or George Benson, you know, some Phyllis Hyman, some you know, Dee Dee Sharp Gamble, you know, all these voices coming out. I mean,
that's why I like Philip's voice. His voice can morph.
It can morph,
all these styles we're talking about, and these people that we're talking about, you can hear the morphing in his voice.
Yeah.
You know, like when I thought the Johnny Mathis thing.
Johnny Mathis,
Okay, you going from
bringing all of those
down,
qualities,
a little Will down to Johnny Mathis. Okay, I'm hearing a little bit of this, and I'm in some baby faces. You know, but to master that in your own way and deliver it to you in your rest, your voice, your body instrument. So the notes are going to come out of you differently than they're going to come out of somebody else, because everybody is built different. But that's the unique thing about being an artist and working on, as he says, your brand and having a brand.
All right.
Wow, that's so cool. Thank y'all for that. It really does. It is super refreshing, because again, it's like, man, you just kind of do the thing. Like I say this a lot because I have no other way to say it, but it's like you do, you know, and you all are artists as well, so you understand it. Like you do your thing, and then you're just like, okay, I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm gonna see, and then when somebody responds or listens and responds in a certain way, you're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
So agree with this, Philip.
Okay.
Put out an album or single or anything of it. Once you put it out, that's like getting an elephant off your chest.
Bro. It is
like an elephant is on your chest. And when you're finally done with it and able to put it out there, you breathe.
It's the biggest exhale. It is the biggest exhale in history, because you're like, all right, I've done all I can do.
Yeah. Get that elephant, get off, you know.
Yeah. Because you're getting stuff, you know, prepared and getting into a place where you're like, okay, this is it. It's a monumental task, you know. Whether you're doing everything you're on your own, whether you have a team, to me, it all is the same feeling, because it still needs to get to a place where you feel personally that it's in a place to share. You know, and so that's not an easy thing, you know.
Now answer this question: the feeling after you do it, when you wake up and you know you did it, and then go into your new day, isn't that a relief? It's like, oh,
yeah. It's like, all right, now, what do I do?
Yeah, I don't have to sweat about that today. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, okay, that's done. Okay, cool. Now we can move on to something else. So I can, you know, I can just be, because I mean, you know, like you say, everything is, you just are consumed with it all, and you just, you know, like you want to just make sure that you're getting, you know, I want to make sure that I am as best I can sharing the vision that I have, and communicating that as best as I can. You know what I mean? So it's cool when you do that, and then you share it, and then it is a sense of like, all right, done. You know, I did that now. You know, Now people can interpret it how they will, because now that, it was my vision. But again,
And
if
they
you
will.
compare it to the game of telephone, they're going to take a different piece of that. Somebody else going to say something else and then move on. So, and it's also cool to hear the different influences that people that like the Johnny Mathis reference, and of course Will Downing's in there. But it's cool to hear the different sides of my voice that people take from it, because it's like I listen to a lot of things, and the stuff that resonates with me, I try to share it in my way. So that's cool to hear that as well.
Exactly.
Well, good job, man. Good job.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well,
And
you know
breathe,
what?
man, the elephant's gone. Breathe,
You may be
breathe.
bringing back the hopefully, you may be the one that brings back the ballad singer.
Someone needs to, yeah.
You may be that guy, because
That would be so cool.
I knew it kind of, I've said this for the last few years, that I felt as though Luther Vandross was the last true ballad singer, and nobody has thought about that territory any longer.
Right.
Once he left, there's been the vacant space, I used to think
Absolutely.
Jeffrey Osborne was going to do it, but even he was having vocal problems early, later in his solo career. I thought Will would do it. I thought that there was a lot of them that might come along. Glenn Jones and cats like him and Keith Washington. I thought they might have wanted to step into that place, but
Yeah.
might be that guy. You might.
Yes, just because we're getting all these nasal singers here that don't want to do that. You got these nasal singers, like you have nasal rappers, let's say. We need to preserve what you're doing.
Oh, man.
When you I'm like CTK now. When you get a true ballad singer and a one that's got a baritone voice, oh my goodness, that's the key. That's the mechanism right there.
Wow.
I mean, that's who we looking for.
Rich and that warmth.
That's the guy that can crush a song and have women knocking at his door on a daily basis.
Yeah. Hey.
You don't want that, but yeah.
Man, I appreciate that, because I'm just like, man, I really do appreciate, and it's the ballads, but even more than that, it's the crafting, the song that is stylistically different. Like the thing that Luther had was just the way he stylized a particular melody was very specific to him. Even though a lot of his stylings are very, one of his favorite singers was Dionne Warwick. So if you listen to a lot of his cadences, it's very similar to what she did, but it was in his own way. So a lot of times you don't really piece the two together, because it's the way he did it.
Right.
And so, I really that is the biggest compliment to even be mentioned in that company. So thank you for that.
But I'm old school, man. What can I say? I'm old school.
We all old school.
We're the last of the baby boomers.
Oh yeah.
So we carry that with us, man. That mantle is like what we came up with. And you talked about Dionne, you talked about Nancy Wilson, Sarah Vaughan, Dinah Washington, all of these women, female singers, and then like we talk about Johnny Mathis. I talk about we talked about Walter Jackson earlier. Same thing with gosh, I can't think of this one guy. My goodness, he was a singer out of L.A. in the 1950s, and his voice was just unbelievable. But he ended up dying early as well, and I think he had just one hit. He had a song called "It's All Right with Me." Can't think of his name right now, but it'll come to me later. In fact, before we leave, we're going to exchange email addresses, because you home to me, man. You are.
Oh man, I appreciate that, bro.
I appreciate you being on here today. But I think that, when I listen to you, I hear John Lucian again. I hear I hear elements of even not just baritone, but I've heard Bobby McFerrin sing the song Moon Dance. And his voice is, same thing. You bring on that style of like freedom, but yet still you know how to handle that composition and make it your own. So, that I'm
the freedom of expression. That's what I keep hearing, and I think that is like the ultimate compliment to me, and I will just keep saying it because again, that's something that is so that is what, as a kid, what spoke to me about the generations before me was that they would come out and because there was no technology. There was no, dancers and this and that, and there's nothing wrong with that because that has its place, obviously, but for me, that you can stand flat foot and captivate thousands of people, millions on TV, and thousands in front of you that you can just captivate with a microphone and bodies, live musicians behind you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a press play. There is no press play, and then we'll see what happens. No, this is whatever that is. You get that instant gratification of I just share, and we only have that for that split moment that we have it because it's live and in the moment there. Because you can never recreate something twice. You know what I mean? There's never recreated.
No.
So it's like even if it's the same song, the same lick, it is never the same.
Right.
Well, Miles Davis always said you never want to practice.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Miles Davis.
Miles said never practice. Whatever comes on that performance, say that's what it.
I was gonna say about that. Miles Davis and Freddie Hubbard and Ike Turner, they all would do the same thing. They would never start a song the same way.
Yeah.
I've been in practice with some of them guys, and they would never do the song the same way. They would start something off, and you don't know what it is, and they look at you like, you know what that is.
Yeah.
We've been practicing it for months, but they would never start the same way.
It would never be the same.
It would never be the same song every time. It's just what it is at that moment is how it's going to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fact.
Awesome. Well, Phillip Brandon, it's been a pleasure having you on today. I tell you.
Yes,
thank you.
I mean, you're just filled with so much talent, and it's just great to get to talk to somebody that experienced all these wonderful things. And I know you're going to be experiencing a whole lot more, I'm sure. So,
hey,
yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you all very much again. This has been an absolute honor to be on here. So thank you for the opportunity and the space to share.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank also Desiree, also for making that great connection. And
yes, Desiree is wonderful. Desiree L. Benson. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. Phillip, why don't you tell everyone how they can actually keep up with you and follow you on your sites and things?
Yeah, so at Phillip Brandon and the number 2 on all the social media, and Phillip has 2 L's in it. You can also check me out on my website, phillipbrandon.com, and again, Phillip has 2 L's in it.
Got it.
Yes. Very nice. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, before I leave, I just want to let you know that singer that I mentioned earlier from L.A., who was the jazz singer, his name was Jesse Belvin.
Jesse.
Okay. Jesse Belvin.
Well, that's been an absolute pleasure for me too, as well, Phillip, to have you on the show and listen to your story and see where you're going right now. Like I said, I love the morphine of your voice. The style is great. I love the music. You being out here in California, I hope we could hook up soon and do a meet and greet or something. It'd be a total pleasure to meet you and see you at Catalina Island up there in that area. I do frequent the area, and it's just a pleasure and refreshing to have someone who did the ballads again. Bring them back, please. We need them all back. Get us away from these low pants, sagging, sneaker wearing guys who think they're doing ballads. That's not who we are. Okay. Please
I
bring it back.
appreciate it. Thank you so much, man.
And while I'm on that, I'm going to say this. Gary, congratulations
Oh,
for being the recipient of the Enthroned Entertainment Hall of Fame inductee. We are so proud of you.
oh, thank
If you have that anywhere around you, can you just maybe show us what it might look like, since we may never see it otherwise?
Well, let's see if I can reach.
I mean, this is something that they have bestowed upon Gary for his body
Amazing.
of work, his dedication of putting independent voices and music out there for all independent artists, and he's been dedicated to it, and he's never failing. He's unfailing. And we just want to say thank you, Gary, and we are extremely proud of you, my brother, here at GHP Radio, as well as everybody in the chat room. They know you and they love you too, brother. They're extremely proud of you as well, and you deserve it.
Well, thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. And I want to send a special shout out to Andre L. Pittman for including me into this wonderful.
Oh yes,
thing.
oh yes, oh yeah.
There will be a ceremony. They're gonna have a place there at the Catalina Club there in LA. I mean, it's gonna be I think June the 30th, but
yeah, that's right after you, man.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
But there's supposed to be more details about it, and of course, unfortunately, I won't be able to be there, but I'm definitely going to be doing a video for it, and they're supposed to do a broadcast on it as well. So, but we'll definitely get all that information out once we get all the details about it. But I'm very humbled, and I really appreciate it that the committee decided to put me in that. So thank you very much.
Well, see, anybody that can put a new video out every 6 minutes deserves to get something. Anyone who releases something every week.
Well,
I'm your biggest fan, Gary. I'm your biggest fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I might as well put that out there too, because I'm gonna tell you, Phillip, Gary's got a museum of music that he hasn't released yet. So.
Wow.
Is that a vault? You
He
think
got a
Chris had a
vault,
vault?
man. And every time he puts something out, I'm like, what is this brother? What can he not do?
Oh, wow. That's incredible, man. That is so cool.
I mean, he's a guitarist. He's a keyboard player. He can play bass. I mean, I don't know if he can play drums or not, but I ain't gonna put it past him.
Well, I started out as a drummer.
Hey.
Well, we know you might even have a horn or two under the bed.
I know, really.
We don't know. We don't know. But Phillip, it's been an extreme pleasure to have you and talk to you today.
Yes.
And please, let's exchange information before you go.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
And I love listening to your music. I just love the fullness of it, and I see bigger things.
Oh, yeah.
Even big things.
Very good.
Thank
Brother
you
can
so
get
much,
Lion
guys.
King. Brother King, you get Lion King in China or Japan. He can get it anywhere.
He can get it anywhere. You know that's right.
Indeed.
Look, the Lion King was talking in Chinese.
they did have some, yeah, for sure. They did.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we guess we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, and I want everybody to enjoy the rest of the weekend, and thank you. We all thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You know, we never take it for granted again. And again, next week we do have a special guest. We'll have all that information posted for everyone to tune in next week. But again, thank you, Phillip. We appreciate you, man. Definitely.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing and keep us posted. And like I said, we welcome you back anytime, brother.
I will be back. Thank you so much, everybody.
No problem.
All
No
right.
problem.
All right. Well, everybody stay tuned, and we're going to go ahead and get out. And again, have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Happy Mother's Day to the mamas.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Happy Mother's
Day
to everyone. So,
And in the words of one Mr. Lamont Sanford, Odabo Jack.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
See you next